Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. It's not really late, because the show came on Saturday. Y'all getting it on Monday? That's not that late, but it is still my love and marriage Huntsville review, okay, for the foolishness down there in Alabama, okay? Now, happy Monday to everyone. I will be live tonight at 9 p.m. for a Monday night chit chat. Okay, we're going to discuss the BT Awards and whatever else is going on. So, tonight, come on around to the corner. Okay, come on around at 9 o'clock so we can have our daily, nightly conversation. Because the BT Awards, honey, is a lot to discuss. Okay, but we are here for the love and marriage of it all. Okay, now look, it is currently 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I will not be on camera, okay? But you can hear me and I'm here, okay? I also want y'all to do one little thing for me, okay? Make sure that you have subscribed. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment in the comment section. Make sure to also follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, Twitter, and TikTok of the top, okay? And yes, share the video too. Now look, hi, bye, okay? It's late. Anyway, we are here to have a conversation for these people. Now, look, I know some folk was like, "Oh my God, the show was boring. Oh my God, we don't like." I just realized my thumbnail is messed up, and I want to fix it. Okay, because my name was cut off, and if one thing will not be wrong and be positioned the wrong way, it will be my banner. Okay, my Jaylee's Corner thing or whatever. I don't know how I did not notice that until just now. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. I'll fix it and y'all see it in a second. But I know some folk are like, the show is getting boring, the ratings are not that good, things are failing, and I put a comment up saying it's Carlos King's fault. But what I will say is, it is Carlos King's fault. But my point is, the show tonight, well, as I watch it tonight, it wasn't that bad, y'all. It wasn't. Not at all. Boom, not space. You know how simple that was? It was so simple. Y'all probably did not even notice it, but I did, okay? You see how my name was under the picture? No. It needs to be above it, okay? Behind the picture, above the picture. It's real simple, but I'll leave that be. Anyway, the episode was good. Okay, yeah, I'm a fuss Maurice out because I'm like, Maurice, what is wrong with you? Are you dumb? I just don't understand Maurice's way of thinking. Like how he thinks, it don't make sense, y'all. It's confusing. It's cohabitating with confusion. Maurice's thought process is cohabitating with confusion. That's the only logical answer. Now, the episode starts off where the last one left off. Stormi Mama and her and Lisa out here beefing, out here fussing, out here not getting along. But the gotcha is this is the thing. This is Stormi's first season as a full-time cast member. And I get they're trying to get the audience, inducted into her family. But I feel like we haven't even seen much of Stormi and Courtney, her husband. We haven't seen much of her with her child. Because, they're a family. So to thrust us into this debacle between her mama and her auntie, which, if you ask me, has been brewing for a long time. And I'm like, is that what you want to give us? I'm like, did Carlos King set this up? I don't know. I just feel like we don't care about her mom and her auntie only because we haven't gotten to know Stormi yet. And I feel like we have to first give us about you to then be able to care about your family dynamics or family dysfunction. But I'm like, we still want to know more about, like, we know she owns Canvas Beauty. We know she started from the bottom and now she's here. But I still feel like we are missing parts of her actual life. Because I feel if your mama and auntie beefing is a part of your daily life, something's wrong, because why is your mom and aunties beefing this in your household? They don't live with you. Now, if your mama live with you, would she make us, Stormi and Courtney has an estate. They don't have a house. They have a compound, an escape. Okay, it's a whole, a whole thing. It's not, it's a lot over there. So if your mom lived there at the compound, the estates that you and Courtney own, then okay, if your mama beefing with your auntie, it may affect your household. But I'm like, if your mama don't stay there and she just come to visit, I would not care about my mom or my auntie fussing because y'all don't live here. I will refuse to allow their shenanigans to come up in my household and disturb my peace. Now, Stormi can want them to be, cool. Girl, Stormi can want them to get along and want them to fix the issues. However, you can force it. You can't. And I feel like seeing how the mama and the auntie fuss and whatever, that makes the fact that Stormi feel like, well, yeah, people can fuss and argue and fix things. That's why she feel that way. When she was saying it about, the little spa day, we can fuss and argue and get everything out. I'm like, oh, is that what the mama and the auntie do? That ain't fix nothing. So try a different way, you know. And at least, I refuse to deal with Betty evil ways, her mean ways. And if you can control how she talks to me and how she treat me, who I can control it by not being involved in it. Meaning, I just want to talk to her. She can't come at me and expose my son's prison sentence and all these things if I'm not talking to her. And if that means I can't talk to you by default, well then that's what it is. Because you can't control your mom enough for her to not cause conflict with people who you want a relationship with. That's on Stormi. Because I will refuse to let my mama cause so much chaos that people who I don't even have an issue with don't want to talk to me because of her. Like, your mother should not ruin relationships with the family when the family hasn't done anything to you that you are upset with. Because in my eyes, Stormi ain't upset with Junior. I don't think they even care that she paid $15,000 to get them out of prison. That's all Betty. So Betty's the one causing issues. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Auntie Lisa's like, I'm done. She walks away with Junior. Girl, we may not never see Auntie Lisa back on TV. She don't want it. She's done, okay? Because Betty, like, can't nobody control me and what I say. No one can control me. And Stormi, like, I just felt like as long as I'm alive, like I want to try to get y'all back to who y'all were and how y'all were when I was younger. Now, sometimes wanting people to be who they were when they were younger, it may not happen if too much has happened that caused too much turmoil. And it seemed like it's too much water up under that bridge between your mama and your auntie for whatever reason. And it seemed like your mama is the culprit. I'm just saying. Anyway, now when we see Stormi and Courtney riding around talking about all the stuff that's going on, first they were speaking about changes in staff at her warehouse. Now look, Stormi had a whole thing. I also feel like they're not directly addressing things, but they're addressing a little bit. Stormi had a whole like turnover, reorganization, of her warehouse staff and stuff. Okay, and they're like, we got rid of Junior, but we may need more changes at the warehouse. Okay, and how it was a big issue because the warehouse manager wasn't telling them about issues at the warehouse. They did not know when stuff had to be restocked, or they did not know when stuff had to be, or all these things they did not know because the warehouse manager, who I think was Junior, is her cousin, was not telling her. And she brings up how, like, when me and you, Courtney, was packing up orders, we did 800 orders. It's not hard, it can be done, which means we have to get people, that are better at working. Now, to me, this whole conversation almost felt like, well, yeah, the reason my business got messed up is because the warehouse manager wasn't doing his job. And I said, well, that's true. But you hired them. I feel like we have to stop hiring family members to do jobs they're not qualified for, or letting them do things and then not double checking to be sure they're not fucking up. Because you can't hire people to do a job who can't do the job. And I feel like giving someone the title of warehouse manager just because they're family, it's just not smart. And even if you give them a chance to prove themselves, I feel like you should be on their head until they proven themselves. And I feel like he didn't prove himself, you know. And even when they prove themselves, you have to, as a boss, you have to be on top of your employees, not micromanaging, but checking in. Okay, you can't just okay. Well, this one is fine. I'm not gonna come to work. I'm not gonna go check on. I'm gonna leave all the folks to do whatever, because what happens? You leave folks to their own devices, and now your whole warehouse is messed up because things not being done properly. So I feel like yes, Junior should have absolutely been fired. If he was the warehouse manager and he was the one who wasn't ordering things or wasn't telling them what needed to be ordered, then he should have absolutely been fired. However, in conjunction with that, whoever you hire next, you need to be sure they know what to do. Have protocols in place, have rules in place. Like there should be a protocol. And if there's a protocol and then people aren't following it, that's when you can say, okay, well, this is the issue. But like, were there any rules? Like, did he know to tell y'all that stuff wasn't right? Because I'm like, giving somebody the title don't mean they know what goes with it. Because I can say, well, I'm going to be the president and the CEO of Walmart. I don't know how to run Walmart. I don't know. I don't know when to order new stuff. I don't know how much to order because I don't know. The title was fine, but if there is not rules and regulations and instructions on how your business runs and you need them to run things in that order, it's gonna be a shit show. You know what I'm saying? So as a boss, you have to have an idea of what's happening in your own company, even if you're not micromanaging. There should be a check-in at the end of every week. You should be asking, do we need anything? No, we don't. Okay, cool. Because if you don't ask anyone and they ain't telling you, well, they may think you don't care too. I don't know. Anyway, but to me, this was a learning lesson of somebody who business got popular really, really fast, and then things got busy. So it's a learning lesson. It's a business learning lesson either way. And when she gets on her mom, her auntie, and how they beefed out. Okay, how she was gonna do. She wanted to do. She wanted to do a whole huge family trip to Jamaica on her, meaning she was gonna flip the bill, not flip. She was going to pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? And the mama and or auntie said nope because they don't want to be around each other. Right now, I hate her. They beefing, and so Stormi's sad because again she wants to be close to her family. She's crying in the confession because she's sad about what's going on. Now, when Courtney said, her husband Courtney, when Courtney said he feel like Betty, her mama, Betty just wants to keep Stormi to herself. Betty does not want to share Stormi with the people. Betty just wants it to be her and Stormi. And that Betty gets upset and mad when she, see Lisa and Stormi being close, hanging out or whatever. And so Betty get mad and Betty get jealous. Okay. That's why I said her mama is causing issues. How are you selfish with your child? Stormi's a grown woman. Grown woman with her own husband, her own child, her own business. Betty, get you some business. Like, no one is saying Betty can't love Stormi, but you can't be around here trying to keep control of her and not have anyone else in your family be close to her. That's weird to me. I don't understand. I don't get that dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And Courtney said that. Courtney said Betty wants to keep you to herself. And she gets mad when you get, talk to the auntie. And when Stormi said how she actually gets into arguments with her mama because her mama be upset when she wants to talk to the auntie. I say, Doctor, your mama upset because you want to have a relationship and talk to her sister? Girl, what happened? So Stormi feel like she's in the middle because like I don't want to keep fussing with my mom and I then feel like I have to choose between my mom and my auntie, I would choose my auntie. If your mama is causing that many conflicts to where it's not only hurting your auntie, it's hurting you. Like you're sad, you're crying, you're having issues. You know what I'm saying? You feel some kind of way. I would say, Mama, I love you, but I would love you from afar until you can chill out and stop badgering me and fussing with me and making me choose you over other family. I can't deal with that right now. Leave me be, Mama. Leave me be, okay? And if your mama can't stop causing issues with your aunt to make you happy as her daughter, then let your mama be mad. Let her be mad. Like you don't even have to stop talking to your mama. Just let her be mad, and it's on her because you can't force anything. You know what I'm saying? And I feel sorry for her because, like, I don't know what it's like to have a parent who like causes you sadness. Like my mama, don't like I've never had that issue. Even in times of me being beat out or fussing with a family member, my mom has never made me feel like, you know, I have to pick. My mom not beat out with nobody. Like people love my mom, so it's the thing because I have such a wonderful mom who isn't problematic. She's not fussing with family, whatever. Like I've never experienced that. So for me, it's like an irrational situation because it's just so foreign to me. And I feel like Betty should do what's best for her daughter and to stop causing conflict. Because you hurt your own child. It's stupid. And I feel like Stormi like this does not want to Stormi does not want to be at odds with anybody in her family because if she loses them and she's at odds with them, that's heartbreaking. Because your mama messy, and that's it. Martell around here at therapy, girl, because of the whole kid, the custody of the kids, the court situation or whatever. Mel had the kids in therapy, so the judge, said, Martell, take your ass to therapy. He eventually went, so he's seeing his therapist. Martell really be talking like he's a victim. It's been a hard day, and kudos to the therapist for telling him, well, thank you for being honest about how, it's a tough day because some folk would have said it was fine. I had a hard day, people not doing what they're supposed to do. The babysitter canceled. My mom, couldn't make it or whatever. So I was better than my mama. And he was like, sometimes he gets so mad that he just want to cuss folks out. We know, Mel told us, okay. But Martell is up here complaining because he has things to do and people won't help him. Well, I mean, you had a wife, you had a system. It's like Martell is upset because of the decisions he made in life. Now he has to depend on other people who are not required to bend and snap each time he say he needs them. You know what I'm saying? And when he said, I love my mom, I love my mama, okay? But, I don't get why it's an issue when I ask her to watch my kids. I said, because them ain't her kids. And I believe she said that to you a couple of seasons ago when you was going through before y'all were divorced. And have an issue. I think she said like them your kids. And I never understand how people think their parent is their babysitter whenever look some parent like my mom with DJ, my nephew DJ. Like we do whatever for DJ. You know what I'm saying? DJ's father tragically passed away when DJ was one in an accident. So, unfortunately, my sister became a single mom back when he was one. He's 17 now. And so over the years, we always made sure that she was never a single parent. You know what I'm saying? She had all of us. You know what I'm saying? So my mom never had an issue watching DJ. But it's because we are, you know what I'm saying, a family like that. Whereas and it's just one kid. Like Martell has 5 children. And his mama, who's a single lady, I think. Mom got life too. Okay. So you can assume that your mother will always just be available to watch your kid because sometimes we busy and we have to do what was, whatever. So, we've been lucky because it's us. And I feel like Martell really talking about, I get mad because sometimes to make her kids. Then him saying how him say, well, I give her stuff at times or whatever, and sometimes I won't give her stuff because she won't help me. That's what? If you can't afford a babysitter, then that's on you. If you don't have backup like Mel does, that's on you. And it's the fact that he's complaining because he doesn't have enough help like Mel does. So he can't move like Mel does. Well, karma. Karma's a babysitter. A missing one, okay? But it aggravated me that he literally said, I don't understand how my mama, be mad if I want her to watch my kids. Them are her kids. You her child. Them are grandchildren. And if she don't feel like being bothered with 5 kids who are, let's say 11 and under, like them kids, all the Martell's kids are at an age you have to still like watch them. Like the oldest daughter, she can, what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna burn the house down, but you have to still be aware of what they doing. You know what I'm saying? So you have children that she has to like actually consistently watch. So if she can't, she can't. That's what happens when you become a parent, okay? And I feel like your mama, wasn't the best friend to you. So what you're thinking about, anyway. So therapist brings up how that this sounds like it's some unhealthy situations around it, some unhealthy boundaries, okay? Because if one person isn't doing what the other person wants them to do, then y'all both have an issue. Meaning, Martell will want my eye itching, y'all. Martell will want his mama to do something. If she doesn't, he won't give her whatever he usually gives her. The mama who was expecting whatever from Martell, but he did not give it to her. So then she said, well, I'm not going to want the kids. So it's like y'all both frown, you're doing tit for tat shit and it's stupid. When in hindsight, you should pay to have a regular sitter if your mama can't make it and if your sibling can make it. So that's just bad for him, Martell. You know? So I'm like, you just get some on nerve, okay? And it's like he's made a bed that he don't want to lie in. That's on you. You can't blame people who don't want to help you when it ain't their job, okay? Now the therapist asked about his daddy. Now we saw his daddy back when him and Mel was still married. So it's been, a while. He said, well, he's around. He's in Huntsville. Like he was in prison for like, over 20 years. He came around a little bit, but then we kind of fell out of touch a little bit or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? So we don't spend he says it's been about a year since he talked to him. Okay. And when she said, well, do you feel like, if there's any void because he isn't in your life? He said, well, no, I don't think that. Like, I think when people, he said, I think when people say, like, they are how they are because a parent wasn't around as a cop out. I'm like, no, it's not a cop out. I think sometimes in life, you do miss things and it can shape who you are because you missed things. I think Martell, father not being around, his mama being busy working, it made him feel like when he got somebody, it will be all about him. And that was not the case. It should have been, okay? But I was like, sir, this comes from him. Okay. So no, I don't have any void. There are no issues with me, based on him not being around or whatever. Like I'm not like missing him and like, feeling crazy. So he then brings up how he has a brother Martez. Now I never recall. I have been watching this show since season 1, and maybe I just don't remember. But I never remember them talking about him having a brother. I always feel like it was just him and his mama, and that's why his mama spoiled him what she does. You know what I'm saying? But his brother Montez is 5 years younger than him or whatever. They have the same mom, different father. And then the therapist said, look, I think you need to like, you know, uh she said make current relationships your life, be connected to wherever you're going in life. Meaning, you can't be around here in these, family relationships or personal ones or whatever, if they're not conducive to what you're doing to move forward in your future. And Martell ain't shit, so we know that. Now he does do this little brother. Now, first of all, they look nothing like. I say the mama jeans ain't shit, okay? So I'm assuming the boy looked like the daddy, okay? But Montrez is there, okay? He got out of prison a year ago. He recently got married. So Martell is hoping to help him to be a listening ear, to be a role model, to be a helping hand to the brother who was in prison. I feel like both of y'all have made some mistakes in life. Even if you have not been in prison like he has, you still created a whole debacle for yourself that will take you years to get out of. People may not see you as a felon, but they do see you as a fuck up. So seeing him talk to his brother, I feel like you, just because you did not go to prison and you have worked jobs that he has not, y'all still the same fuck up. In my opinion, I'm just saying that, okay? But the brother out of prison or whatever, he's about to start working at FedEx, being a driver. And then, with Martell, so you ain't never had a regular job. And he said, well, yeah, because I was in the streets. We never had we never really had a father figure like to kind of push us to work. Like mom was there, but she was always working, so we kind of raised ourselves. And again, that's the thing about, if mama is working to keep, food on the table, bills paid, rent paid or whatever, and as he said, like, we raised ourselves basically because she was always working. So they saw her working, but because she wasn't a parent who was around here, um, instilling in them, hey, don't be in this bullshit. She probably just like, I'm going to work. I have to pay the rent. Okay. And when Martell brought up how had he not got into ROTC in middle school, he would have been just like his brother, like he would have still been like his brother, hanging out, getting into trouble. And I'm like, well, a lot of people bring up how ROTC, like in school, taught them discipline. Now, I'm like, well, who taught you how to cheat? Anyway, Martell brings up how the only reason that he even got focused in life was because he got married. Like, I got married, I got focused. Like, so ROTC made me be disciplined. Getting married helped me be focused because I had a wife at home. I had someone to come home to. My wife was always, she was taking her home or whatever. And so it made my life easy. It's crazy how when he not trying to shit on Mel, he talked about the marriage, and you can tell Mel wasn't doing much wrong. I'm not saying she was perfect or whatever, but you could him sound like him saying I had an easy home life because my wife, she was a housewife. You know what I'm saying? And it made me able to focus on business or whatever because I knew she had her house. And I'm like, right. And now he said how he fucked up, took it for granted or whatever. That's all I messed up. He says, I want you to know, you never know what's gonna happen in life. You need to be, make sure that you be active in your marriage. Make sure to always, you should always satisfy your mate. I was like, sir, shut up. And he like, I want my brother to learn from my mistakes that I've made in my marriage. I want him to be better. You know what I'm saying? I want him to have his own. He then asked the brother if he wanted to, like, I guess, own a business. The brother said, yeah. I'm like, but what is the business? It's like, you can invite people, because he invited the brother to the business expo. You can invite people to come down to the business expo. But if they don't know what they want to do, I'm confused on what they're going to be enlightened to do. Because, like, I mean, what can he do? Can he chop trees? Do we want to have a tree cutting business? Is he a barber? Does he want to have his own barber shop? Does he make hoodies? Does he give facials? Does he build? Like, what does, like, just ask somebody, hey, do you want to own a business? Well, yeah, but what kind? What does he want to do? Because going down there without any plan on what you want to do, even if Maurice say, hey, I'm around here fixing credit. Okay, can he fix credit too? He want to fix credit? Can he do that if he a felon? I don't know. Anyway, it's weird. Okay. I want y'all to take one little second and like that video. I need to drink of water. Because y'all know liking is the thing to do. Now, the rest of this episode was about Kimmi and Maurice, basically. Maurice is a piece of work. Maurice, I don't know if he just wants. I feel like when Mel told him he was like the least interesting person on the show, like 2 seasons ago, I don't know if he said, you know what, I'm gonna prove her wrong. I'm gonna cause all kind of havoc. Because what's going on with him on this show is just that. Havoc. Because chaos. Foolishness. Now, Kimmi, Maurice, Tisha, and Marcel meet up like for a little date night, okay? They were at something called wine and design. We call it paint and sipping paint here. Even though they were just painting wine glasses, it's still when you go, you use paint to paint on something and drink. Okay, you can. Some places you only drink wine. Some places have alcohol. It's called sipping paint. Okay. Anyway, they had fun. Well, not really, because Maurice's asshole. Um, when the lady told Maurice, before Tisha and Marcel got there, they came late. The teacher said, hey, y'all can paint on the glasses or whatever, and you need to still wash them by hand and not put them in the dishwasher. And Maurice said to Kimmi, oh, well, that would be your department. I said, again, I don't know what cave the Scots climbed up out of. Well, they're from Michigan. I feel like they're from Grand Rapids. In this show, they're not from Detroit. They're not from 313. Not at all. Okay. But I don't know what cave they climbed. I need to ask them if you know them. I don't know what cave they climbed out of, them Scots, but they need to climb back up in there. Okay. So Kimmi, like, whatever. First of all, you need to wash dishes and let Monster see you do that. In the sense of that way, you know what I'm saying? He can do some things. And Maurice, why I gotta be the one? I don't want. Why can't you? Nigga, if she's telling, it's like Kimmi is literally asking him for help in disciplining his son, and he keeps saying, "Why do I gotta help you? Why gotta be me?" And when Kim said, "I don't want to keep having to be the heavy rule parent," meaning when I say when he don't do something, it's always me forcing the punishment. Because when a child feel like their quote unquote stepmom, whether she bonus mom, whatever, keeps punishing them by making them do things, it make the kid not like the person. I think that's why Kimmi be so soft and gentle with shit, so she don't want to make Monta feel like, oh, she's a mean stepmama. Okay, I'm like, it's just stupid. And Maurice keeps saying, well, if you tell him to do something, and if I'm not there, you just make him do it. And I'm like, but clearly that ain't working. Like, it's as if he is ignoring the fact that what he's saying for her to do isn't, I shouldn't have to say it more than once. And I get it. I hate it washing dishes when I was younger. I had a messy room when I was younger. However, my parents would say, girl, clean that room, and I would do it eventually. Okay. So Monster is not any different than a regular teen. I think the issue is Kimmi, as she said, is trying to teach him how to be responsible. And he's so used to other folks doing things for him, he just don't do it. But Maurice refuses to just step in and do his job as a father, and it aggravates me. Now, when Tisha and Marcel got there, when Marcel said me and Tisha been beefing out because it's their renovation, we needed a date night out, thank God, okay? But when they walk in and say, hey, what y'all talking about? And then Maurice then say, well, we're talking about the fact that Kimmi, doesn't feel like she has liberty to punish Martha. She's like, that's not true. And he would say stuff that she did not say. Maurice purposely will misquote, misrespond, misread any and everything that Kimmi says to make it seem as if she's saying his son. That's what he does. He makes it seem as if Kimmi's saying, your son, I don't have to do this. I got to. And that ain't what it is. And when Kim said, that's not true. It's like his paraphrasing is fucking horrible. So she brings up an example of what's going on. Monica was supposed to rake the leaves because that's his punishment. He was supposed to do one thing. He did not do it. So the punishment was you have to rake the leaves. He did not rake the leaves. Maurice knew he did not do it. And Maurice never said, Martha, go rake the damn leaves. Ask his father. And even when Marceau said to him, Maurice, you have to back her up. Both Tisha and Marceau was looking at Maurice and he was crazy because in what world do you as the man of the house do not back your wife up in enforcing the rules to your child? It's crazy. And Maurice was like, I just don't think I need to. If he didn't do it, then she should tell him to do it. And he then said, because she talk about him as if he is her kid as well. I'm like, nigga, what? When did she say that? And Kimmi, she's mad. Like, don't act like you don't get what I'm saying. Meaning, don't keep twisting my words and make it seem as if I'm saying something different. Because I ain't. You on some bullshit. Okay? And see, I'm like, why are you, again, as my thing said, Maurice trying to gaslight Kimmi. Because everything he's saying is aggravating her and pushing her. I'm like, why are you messing with her? For what? What's the point? And how she looked at him and said, Maurice, why you keep acting like you don't know what I'm saying? Like, you keep acting stupid, okay? In the confessional, Maurice says how it says to her, well, she acts as if she hasn't earned the right to raise Monster, and you don't need to be tiptoeing around Kyla for you. You have the right to discipline him or whatever, and you can't be tiptoeing because how you think Kyla will feel. She said, well, first of all, I tiptoe around your feelings. Okay? And he said, well, you shouldn't do that. Maurice is stupid. Because Kimmi is being direct and clear in what she's saying, and he's just purposefully misrepresenting her point to cause no B of the S, okay? And when Kimmi brings up, I would like, we will have punishments for him, when he don't do stuff. And Maurice, when I tell him about what it is, Maurice will act as if, like, why am I involving him? And then when teacher brought up how, well, she like, I think you and Kaiwa should like be able to talk about this. I said, teacher, shut up. To me, I don't think Kimmi has to have any kind of conversation with Kyla. I think in that household where it's her and Maurice, if I have an issue with something, you should handle it because you are his father. I should not have to go to Kyla at all if I don't want to. You in the household, she ain't. What the fuck, okay? And so when he bring up how we know it was the whole issue between Kyla and Kimmi, you know what I'm saying? And it was weird before, because of the issues they had or whatever, I think Kygo has taken some steps forward to get out of that weirdness, but I don't think Kimmi really has. Kimmi said, really? Meaning you want to tell me that you think your ex-wife who called me your homewrecker has moved past issues and I still have issues? Look, the police would have been called to pry my fingers from around my husband's neck. I would have rang. You can ring my bell. I would ring his bell. Rang his. I'm like, what? How? Kimmy's upset. Okay. And then Maurice said, well, I feel like, well, Kimmi, do you think that Maurice supports you and all this? And she said, well, no, he does. I don't think he does. And when Marcel brought up how, well, you want to talk about them talking or whatever, but maybe you should not leave the parenting, meeting that you called like you did that one time. Remember that time he called a meeting between Kaiwa, her husband, him, her, and that fool left and left Kimmi there to have a conversation that he set up. Stop leaving things for Candy for Kimmi to handle because you think it's the thing to do. And I'm like, girl, Maurice is a horrible, horrible communicator as a parent and as a husband. Like, I don't think he listens. I don't. I think Maurice is a person who listens to pick up every 3 words somebody say. And when he responds, that's why nothing he says makes any sense. Because he has not computed in his brain a full sentence. He's computing every 3 words. And it never makes sense in his head. And then he doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. But again, Kimmi is clear with her issue. But he keeps changing her message. I'm like, I don't get it. Now when Kaiwa comes to town and they have a whole little meeting, now I am like, where's Kaiwa's husband? She's up married. What's going on? Maurice called this meeting. Saying I want us all to be on the same page. The reason they all have different ways of raising kids. Maurice brings up how he's in boot camp. The boot camp, he gets up earlier. That's it. Every time they put in boot camp, all it is, well, he has this is the up at I'm like, so what? He's up earlier. What is he learning? Nothing if he's still around here not saying shit. Anyway, he's still not doing the chores. As Kim says, he's still not consistent in getting the chores done. Okay. And when she said his chores, really is just like keeping his room clean, doing his laundry, and like doing the dishes. And so when he doesn't do one of those things, the consequence will be, okay, rake the leaves, mop the floor. It's whatever. Okay, the same thing people did when they were younger. So Kaiwa, who's looking at her son, and she can tell he ain't saying something. If they beating him, I don't know. I'm saying. But no, Kaiwa can tell, like, his body language shows her it's something. I don't know what. It's something. But she does say, like, if he not doing stuff, then something needs to be done so that he does it. It starts with him just doing it. But again, there does need to be some kind of reinforcement, to make him do it. Maurice, who's looking at Monster I think Monster don't want to be on camera. They forced this boy on camera, and they want to force him to have a conversation about his feelings. He don't want to do that, so he's sitting there uncomfortable because his bald-headed daddy needs content, and that's my opinion. And I'm not saying that Maurice does not want to get to the bottom of what's wrong with his son, but I feel like if you don't know your child is uncomfortable on camera having a conversation with his mama, his daddy, and his stepmom, then you crazy, Maurice, for sure, okay? And he's acting as if, well, Monster isn't looking enthused. He isn't looking like he's really receptive to this. When he said, what does that mean? I'm like, the boy don't even know what you're talking about, okay? It's weird. Maurice is a drill sergeant parent who feels like, well, he's 15. He's about to be 16. So body-wise, like he should automatically become a man. You know what I'm saying? It's like Maurice does not get, You have to raise him to be a man. You can't just, it's weird. It's so strange. Martell. Maurice, to me, does not know how to parent at all. He thinks drill sergeant Maurice is parenting. He thinks we'll get up early and get to it. It's like, no, that ain't what it is. And him saying to Monster, you look like you don't care. You're not, do you have an opinion? He's like, no, it's not that. I just, I'm just taking it all in or whatever. And when he said, your face isn't receptive, he said, well, it's not a face for that. I said, bitch. Because it's not. Maurice is the asshole. And so Kiowa says to Monster, I'm going to take you to dinner and we're going to talk at dinner. Okay? Monster is a kid whose parents separated and then divorced. Each 3 adults in his life, meaning his mom, his stepmom, his dad, all parent differently. He's stuck between 3 adults in life who all parent him differently, and he don't like the daddy because of how they talks. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He don't listen to Kimmi because he see his daddy don't listen to Kimmi. The fact that he see Maurice not fully engaging Kimmi, he knows, well, I can kind of like not really listen to her. Not because he's like disrespectful, but he's a lazy kid. And he's really following the footsteps of their daddy. Okay? And then with Kiowa, who no longer is a parent raising him, so most of the time, whatever's going on with him, like, it doesn't even cross her bingo card because she ain't there. And then with Kimmi is just trying to not overstep her boundaries to seem as if she's replaced Kiowa as his mama. And that's commendable because she's trying to, again, she's tiptoeing to not make anyone feel any kind of way. Kimmi is trying to keep the peace, and Maurice is around here trying to burn shit down. You hear me? Crazy. Okay? And Maurice tells Mom so you can go to the room with some homework that people can talk. Now, when him, Kiowa, and Kimmi talk without Monster there, he was like, so, do y'all feel like him saying, I was the only one here being tough on him? I was the only one coming at him. Kim was like, well, no, we all told him in one way or the other how he needs to do things different, how he needs to be better in grades, in chores, or whatever. But you just talk longer. You make it a long speech. We told him okay. You make a long, drawn out this and that. And, she said, and that's what it is. Okay. And when Kiowa brings up how I wonder, if he's dealing with her not being around as his mom, as much. And, maybe, he's in his feelings and not talking about it, And then Maurice said, well, yes, that's probably right. Because you babied him. You babied him the whole time. And I'm trying to make him grow up. And I was like, see, you want to make him grow up and not raise him. And when Kiowa said, I did not spoil him, I did not baby him, I nurtured him, I didn't baby, it's a difference. I might let him know. Because again, Maurice have these trigger words to offend people. Because to tell a mother you babied him, no, Negro, I raised him while you was up here with your girlfriend who's your not wife. Okay? Anyway, Kimmi brings up how for her, when she told Maurice, Monster is not going to just be a man without any tools being taught to him on what to do in life. Like, nobody just wakes up one day and you're a responsible adult. You have to be taught how to do this and that or whatever. Kiowa just said how she nurtured him, babied him, and she did mainly everything for him. When he got here, he thought it would be the same, and it wasn't. He got here, and I said, no, you can clean your own room, you can wash your own clothes. And when he said he did not know how to wash clothes, I'll teach you. So Kimmi is trying to teach him how to survive in life, even at 15. We're doing these little chores. But he was used to his mom doing for him. And that's the gotcha. You know what I'm saying? when Kimmi said, like, when I told him, like, no, I'll teach you, I'll show you how to do things. So that way, I'm raising you. You know what I'm saying? And so when Kimmi then suggests, well, maybe you need to spend more time with him. You know what I'm saying? So he can see like responsible parents, doing things or whatever. There's foods that I do. I pick him up from school. I drive him, you know what I'm saying, to him. I was like, not you. You cannot look. The fact that you feel like you are spending quality time with him on the ride to school, but mind you seem like a kid. He not saying, I'm like, first of all, go check his room. Go check his room. Okay? Because the time you spend with him is so generic. Driving to school, driving home. You know what I'm saying? And I also help him with his homework. And when Kimmi said, but if you helped him, she said, no, if you spent like time with him, it would be better. If you helped him on a regular basis, he probably would stop needing help with that homework. But you're not doing anything with him consistently, and you're counting time with him as the drive to school. Kim said you need to, do more with him than lecture him, because driving him to school, picking him up from school, lecturing him is not spending time with him. Kids need happy memories. Kids need some breathing room. And if all you do is pound, 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 pound on him to make him feel harder as he gets older, it's stupid. It's dumb. Totally dumb. Okay? And Maurice was like, I don't think parents should consistently help their kid. I said, what? You put he's 15. And he said, I don't think parents should consistently help kids who are about to be 16. It's dumb. And Kimmi like, first of all, he spends a lot of time in the bedroom. I say, see, go check the bedroom. What is going on up there? Okay. And she's like, he's a loving kid. He loves hugs. He's a kid who loves to be nurtured. That ain't Maurice. And she said, if he ain't getting it from his mom, I'm assuming he won it from his dad. And like that's what he probably expects from you, and he ain't getting. Okay. And Kimmi and Maurice kind of went back and forth about things or whatever. And because he feel like, well, you said I don't spend time with my kid. Well, you don't. You're not spending quality father-son time that will help him be a better person. You're sitting there lecturing him probably about him not being good enough. And you can be his biggest cheerleader and still be his biggest complainer about how he is. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Now Kai was like, well, I know now I need to be more present. Okay. I know I should be more present because I can see he's dealing with some things. And Maurice said, what you mean? She said, well, I can tell, like, it's obvious, his body language, shows like he feels some kind of way, and he's not saying things. You can see that, you can see his fingers up, and he ain't saying it. And she's like, plus you hard on him, so he probably don't feel like safe coming. I'm like, the fact that your child, like the fact that Maurice don't even see the freaking body. I say, I need to look at him. Look at him. He like, I just hope, I hope I don't have to talk to him, because I don't want to have a whole other 3-hour lecture because I might say I'm sad because my mom's not here or whatever it may be. It's crazy. Okay. So we then see Kiowa went to dinner with Monster. And it was just her and him, and she was asking him like, how you feel, do you feel like your dad can be too hard on you, do you want more time with your dad, do you need someone to talk to, like, do you miss me being here, whatever, like, how do you feel? And then he like, well, he says, I have people to talk to, but I just don't want to talk to her. He says, I just talk to myself, and I'll talk to myself with my feelings, and then I'll just kind of move on with how I feel. That made me so sad, because that means that means he know I could talk to other people, but I don't want to. And that's sad. That's extremely sad because no one should feel as if they're, you know, the only safe haven of conversation is with themselves. Because that's a lonely feeling. And his demeanor, his body language is screaming, I feel some kind of way. And I can't tell nobody. Like how he doesn't make it could also be he don't want to be on camera, but even how he like doesn't really make eye contact or whatever. I feel like he doesn't want people to see what he's thinking, so he kind of shrinks himself, and that's just sad. You know what I'm saying? And so she's like, how do you feel about, me coming around more? Like, would you want that? He said, I wouldn't mind it at all. I would like it as much as he said, as much as you can fit it in your schedule. I'm like, you was mama. And the fact that he knows, well, mama has a schedule, mama don't live here. So she has to fit me in her. And I really hope she heard that, and that means I want you here as much as possible. As much as you want me in your schedule, I want you here. That was so sad, honey. But then when Maurice and Kimmi talking, about themselves at the house, and Kimmi like, I get what Kai was saying, about Monster probably feeling some kind of way. And maybe that's something that y'all can go to family therapy about. And he said, oh, y'all. She said, well, yeah. He may feel some kind of way about not living with his mom, and he could have some emotions surrounding that. So I do think it can be talked about. And she said, I also see the body language. I see that it can signal that something is going on in his head. He's not expressing it. I'm saying, so he could also just be getting tired of you because you talk a really long time. Maurice is a talker, it's like me. So she's like, a part of it could also be he's just tired of the talking and talking and talking. Okay. And so Maurice said, okay, cool. Like, yeah, we can go to family therapy, but without you, right? Yeah. He's saying it in a sarcastic way. Not sarcastic. He's saying it in a condescending way, not sarcastic way. And it's like, why would you say it like that? Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Well, you talk as if, you're not the parent. And she's like, well, like, the fact, again, she be real clear what she's saying. She's like, look, it's not about me feeling as if I'm not his parent. However, if 5 people go with him to counseling, me, you, his mama, and the husband or whatever, that could be overwhelming for him. And it may not allow him to feel the ease of opening up. So I think it'll be, it may be smarter to start with his birth parents and then bring us in as time goes along. And Maurice is trying to make it seem as if Kimmi's saying fuck mom, and she not. She's trying to allow his parents, his birth parents, to figure things out without the step parents also interfering because the kid is sensitive. And y'all, and I feel like she not saying shit wrong. She's saying it may be easier for him to feel more open talking with one or both of y'all versus all 5, well, all 4 of us, the 2 parents, and then him. And Maurice said, well, I just want the bonus parents, to also be present in this and that. And she said, well, I was at the first meeting that you had that you left. I was there. Okay. And that's like a little argument or whatever. And then he then brings up, well, maybe you and Kaiwa should meet up and talk things out. Okay. Y'all have stuff to discuss. I'm like, are you bringing up the fact that he bringing up, y'all up here talking about Monster? You want to bring up issues between Kaiwa and Kimmi because Kaiwa said Kimmi was a homewrecker? And Kim said, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing to discuss. What's in the past is in the past, and there's nothing for me and Kaiwa to discuss like that or whatever. He said, oh, well, that means that you're not over it. And she said, what do you mean? What am I not? And she was like, what do you mean I'm not? What am I not over? I said, Maurice, is Maurice trying to get divorced? Is that what it is? Is he trying to get divorced? He's stupid. And that's where went off with him, with her being pissed. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm not over what? What? Girl, Maurice wants a divorce because I'm not, girl, Kimmi. Kimmi, you know we love you, girl. And if you want to leave Maurice, it's okay. Leave him. Because he's doing too damn much. Anyway, y'all, I'm done. Do not forget, I will be live tonight at 9 p.m. covering the BT Awards and whatever is in pop. Y'all know Uzi and JT got a little scuffle. We will discuss all of that tonight at 9 p.m. JT of City Girls and Little Uzi Verts. How y'all fussing and fighting at the BT Awards on camera? Anyway, please like the video, comment in the comment section, share it. Follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, Twitter, and TikTok, and then also subscribe to my channel. I gotta go. Bye.